we cover each episode of the show here, and I go into detail on everything relating to what happens in the show, what I remember from keeping up with it in 2014 and 15, and all the fun knowledge and commentary I can bring in with it. And I'm excited to say welcome to one of my excellent friends, Victoria Knight, who is definitely a fellow jalapeno mushroom peanut butter pizza enjoyer. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. I absolutely love jalapeno mushroom peanut butter pizza. I don't know what other combo could go better on a pizza if you're being so for real right now. And thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Of course, there was like butterscotch something or other. That was the one earlier. Oh, it was uh hold on, uh, oh, jalapeno mushroom butterscotch. That's what it was.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
that,
crazy.
that was the first one. It's a running joke in this show. How Emma and her dad love to order like horrendous pizza topping combinations. That like has gone back a long way.
Oh,
But
has it?
Yeah, it's pretty funny as a running joke. But yeah. So anything you'd like folks to know about yourself, Victoria?
I think that I would just first like to start with that I have not watched a single episode of this show
Yeah,
before 2 days ago when
yeah,
I watched the two episodes for this podcast.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I feel like there's going to be a lot that I don't understand, which is totally
Sure.
okay. But I just want your listeners to be nice to me
Yeah.
and to know that I have never watched it before. But honestly, I was a little more into it than I expected. So I'm
I love
excited.
I love that, and don't worry, Victoria. That's the case with basically everyone who comes on. Um, yeah, remarkably few people that I've ever met in my life have heard of this show at all.
Okay.
So I'm like the one person cheer squad for it in my life, I guess. Um, because I don't know, this one just like it imprinted itself on me at the right time at a younger age, you know. That's uh, I would say, and it was just the right demographic for it, I suppose. But yeah, it so what any any other any any other like things you were surprised about, and anything that you expected, like envisioned that it would be like going in?
I feel like, okay, so I was surprised at, and I mean, I feel this way like about a lot of TV shows, but I feel like there was a lack of like logistics,
Sure.
like you didn't get the explanation of how Philip got to be enrolled in school, like
Yeah.
in order to enroll in school, you need like documents. Where are Philip's documents? And then like I actually was really excited because one of the thoughts that I had was because they kept ordering all of this food for him,
Yeah.
And I was like, where are they getting all of this money? It's an absurd amount of food. Where is it coming from? And I was like, they're never going to tell us. And then later on, you end up finding out where the money came from, and it like was a legit actual source of money. And I was like, oh,
Oh yeah.
okay. And so
Uh,
that was really surprising. But I think like the biggest thing was while I was watching it was just there were a bunch of logistical things that I'm like, why aren't you explaining it?
yeah.
But I had no idea really what to expect. And I think coming into it, I expected like a Wizards of Waverly Place vibe. And
Mhm.
it kind of is that. It's just like
Yeah.
slightly different, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting.
It's that like, but as like a telenovela with like more Latin American
Yeah.
influence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. It's fascinating. Like yeah. I don't think I'd ever seen a telenovela before when this show like crossed my path all those years ago, and it has like, oh, you gotta see what's coming up next energy about it.
Yeah.
Um.
I love the telenovela style.
Any like like your would you say you've like watched any of those before?
Telenovelas?
Yeah.
Yes. So I have watched a couple of like traditional actual telenovelas in
hmm
Spanish.
Yeah.
And then recently I have gotten really into the TV show Jane the Virgin,
Oh yes,
which
Jane the Virgin.
also is telenovela style.
hmm
And it's just love it.
That show is awesome. Yes. We yeah. in fact, you're not the first guest to bring that show up. Like, and then I was like, oh man, it if only Gina Rodriguez made a cameo in this show, that would be incredible.
Maybe once you finish going through all of Every Which Way, you can
Yes,
cover Jane the Virgin, and then you can,
perfect.
and then we can convince Gina Rodriguez to come on the show.
Oh yeah, she'll be the executive producer of the reboot. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Oh yes, we're man, we're having money making ideas over here. Um,
We're ready. We're ready.
or I'm gonna go pitch this to the networks, and yeah, we're gonna make this happen. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, um, so we start the episodes we're talking about today are season 2, episodes 19 and 20. Zombie boyfriend and Andy and Philip sitting in a tree. Those are the names of the episodes, and yeah, it's the arc where Andy gets a zombie boyfriend all of a sudden, and and um and I just want to let you know, like when we open up on this scene of like Andy like like playing the video game, and Jax takes over and he's like, haha, I'm gonna kill Philip here as it, you I'm just gonna do it for last, haha, and then Emma and Andy are like genuinely upset, like, oh no, that's like that's the video game character Andy has a crush on. This is our first time ever hearing of this. There is no antecedent to this.
There's nothing leading up to it. It's just boom, I have a crush on him right now.
Yeah, and also, yeah, oh, there's a video game character that I have a crush on. Oh, we're gonna bring him into the real world, and she's gonna date him now. Like,
That's such a crazy like way to introduce a character.
yeah, just in the scene where it becomes relevant. Just
Um,
drop that on us.
I mean, like pop off, I guess. I
It,
mean, how much backstory do you really need for I have a crush on this video game character? Boom, now
yeah,
he's real. It makes sense, but that's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. It's like I don't know. Maybe mention it once before, before this scene. I don't know. So that's
It's like, you know that TikTok trend where it's like subtle foreshadowing
mm,
but like in the clips of the TikTok, instead of subtle foreshadowing, it's just showing you exactly what's going to happen. It's
yeah.
like the opposite of subtle foreshadowing where it's just like boom in your face.
There's like, oh, this is happening now, and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and like Andy and Emma knew about this, how much Andy cares for this video game character, that she hacked into the game and created like exactly her specifications, how she wanted his personality slash like characteristics to be, and she's like, uh and Emma's like, I know how much you care about him, and and I know that you don't like any of the boys in our life. Yeah, none of them are really my type, but Philip
Yes.
is. And you're like, oh my God, wow, that's
I
something.
I also think it's really interesting that because so she like built this character and
Hmm.
like has a crush on this character and is like, he's exactly my type, he's exactly what I want, but like he's a
Yeah.
zombie and
Hmm.
incapable of like any real thoughts.
Uh, well, at least only maybe like 1/10 the level, I guess.
Yeah, and I personally would want someone who's alive and isn't trying to eat people to
Yeah,
date.
but I mean that's Andy's type, I guess. So,
I guess if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're looking for.
yeah, I can't I can't not mention this. You were saying earlier you were talking about how having your wife on joining as well, and so I wrote a pithy intro of like, welcome to my excellent friends, a witchy couple for the ages, as though they crafted their perfect partner in a video game.
I did read that. That is such a great intro, and I'm like so upset that she couldn't make it.
You gotta show that to her later. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll just do another podcast episode later
yeah,
when we do Jane the Virgin, and
oh
then
yeah,
we can come up with another cute intro.
yeah. You got will be the three hosts of the Jane the Virgin podcast, and
Perfect. Yes.
yeah, perfection. And so so Jack's like, oh no, Philip's in a precarious position. I can't hold on to him much longer. And and Andy and Emma are like, no, what? Don't let him get killed or whatever. And and Emma or Andy's like about tries like, I want to get in there. And Emma's like, what? Um, are you? What are you? Or aren't you gonna pick a lock? Isn't that your thing? I'm too upset to pick a lock. She there's there's real emotional distress here, and then Emma casts a spell to that brings him out of the video game and sends him into the real world, or and we see him. He's in like a a teenage boy in zombie makeup, and he can only speak in like grunts, and so but he appears. He looks up at Jax, and Jax is like, "What happened?" Turns to look at him, and they of course are like, "Ugh," and they scream like, "Ah, ah!" Uh, and and then on the other side of the door, they realize what's happened, that he's brought into the real world, and then Andy's like, "Oh my God." Uh, and then in an adorable moment, Emma's like, "Are you panicking because you're about to meet Philip?" Uh, uh, and then she's like, "How do I look?" But and 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 Emma like prepares her like, go for it, meet your true love or something. It's like they're like long distance uh boyfriend girlfriend who are just meeting for the first time in person, which essentially they are, but like it's that same exact thing. And and Andy's like, yeah, hyperventilating, and I love how Emma's like, I guess I better open the door before Andy has a cow open this door now. So, which is pretty amusing. And then they're like, oh, are people around?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Um, but both are extremely excited and they know what this means to her. And then um, and then Jax is like, "Hey, you get better send him back already. Philip almost bit me." No, 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 Andy says. Philip is totally safe. And but so wait, is does Emma consider him safe or not? Because just a second ago she was like, "You're gonna meet your true love," but then she's like, "No, he needs to go back right away." It's like, what?
I don't know. I feel like she's always okay. I feel like she doesn't think that he's safe, but she's trying really hard to like be supportive of Andy
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Andy
totally.
is like her best friend. So like I feel like she's trying really, really hard to be a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
but she's also like, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sure of this guy going like suddenly brought out and going like either. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
me either.
Um, but she casts a spell to send him back into the video game, but Andy gets in front of him and takes the hit, and she's sent into the video game, and dramatically her phone drops on the ground and the battery falls out. And and then what do you think of Philip's funny football dive out the window?
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Okay, also I didn't realize that that's what happened to her phone.
Yeah,
I don't know what I thought happened, but I was like a little confused. That makes a lot more sense. But the football dive, hilarious. Why couldn't he
yeah.
have just run out the open door?
I know, right?
Like,
The
I know it's for the drama, and I know that it's for the telenovela style transitions, but hilarious.
the comedy slapstick. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. But Daniel did the same thing in an earlier episode. He did a football dive like through the lower part of the window. Uh,
These kids and their football dives, unnecessary.
and like I can understand maybe Daniel having enough coordination to do that, but Philip, this zombie who like stumbles around, how did he have the coordination to do like a swan dive out the window? Like,
Maybe it's less about coordination and more about the fact that because he's a zombie, he's just willing to commit to the bit.
oh yeah,
And he just committed.
oh totally. He he commits. I'll give him that. And and oh, you know who commits even harder? Andy. She's totally in love with this zombie, and she'll follow him to the ends of the earth even after he starts attacking people.
Honestly.
Ugh. I mean, but that's what young love does to you, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, she loved him so much that she wanted to experience his world too.
yeah, because because when they see like, oh, Andy ended up in the video game. Andy, what? Hello, can you see us? Can you hear us? And she's like, this is awesome. I'm in the video game. Yeah. Uh,
And then, like, if I remember correctly, when she comes out of the video game, doesn't she like ask to be sent in to like
yeah,
finish whatever she was doing?
yeah. She's like, oh man, I just wanted to keep being in there. Come on now.
Yeah.
They bring her out right away, and like I I was genuinely expecting. I mean, I of course haven't seen this episode in quite a few years, so uh, I was like, oh, are they gonna like? Is there gonna be a dramatic sticking point of like, oh, she's gonna have to be trapped in the game for a while and like have to survive as like they figure out a solution? But like no, they just bring her right back out that second. I was like,
Yep.
oh, that's over then, and and then and and then she's like, that was my dream to be in the video game, and Jax says you got some pretty bizarre dreams.
Truly.
I, I mean, yeah, Andy's. She's not like other girls you see.
Apparently not. She's like zombie girls.
Yeah, exactly. But then Andy's like, wait, where'd Philip go? Oh, he escaped out the window. Wait, Philip's on the loose in Miami? Oh dear. Uh, yeah, so that so then they instantly go to the Seven and go see Daniel, who's of course, as I'm sure you picked up, Emma's ex-boyfriend. Um
Yes, I did gather that.
and and uh uh would mm, do you think you would have ever supported the like if you were like watching the show at a younger age? Do you think you would have ever supported the Emma Jax relationship? Is it?
Okay, so at the beginning of this episode,
Mhm.
based off of all of the information I have right now, at the
Yeah.
beginning of this episode, I do think that Jax is giving that like tall, dark, and mysterious. He has the
Hmm.
accent, you know.
Yeah.
Like I can see the appeal.
Hmm.
But through watching these episodes, I do think that I would have been Team Daniel. I think that he seems
Yeah.
nicer. I think he seems like he's the one that we're supposed like that she's supposed to be with. And also, I feel like Jax is giving bad vibes. And like I
Hmm.
don't know how much I should give away at this point for listeners because like
Yeah.
some stuff happens in the second episode that was just not good for Jax. Like I didn't know
Some
you were like that.
some toxic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like some serious jealousy issues. Uh,
truly.
Um, yeah, we don't have to get into the particulars right now, but yeah, I've enumerated this like he does that stuff plenty. We uh yeah, that's sort of his thing. But like Emma is like maybe making him better in ways, debatably. I don't know. Um, well, I mean, the show tries to insist that she is. I don't know if I see it.
That's
um,
fair.
it's a, but But so Emma runs into Daniel and she's like, "Hey, have you seen a boy who's like stumbling around and is super pale? What, are you looking for a zombie?" Uh, oh wait, you are looking for a zombie. I should have guessed. Which is
I
just
think that's
pretty
so crazy because pale and stumbling around, like I don't know what I would think, but I wouldn't immediately think zombie.
yeah. But he is in their magical world and he's
That
seen some
is
pretty crazy stuff. So
that is fair. That is fair. And apparently Andy plays the zombie game a lot. So,
yeah,
you know, I guess it does make sense. I can get with it.
he sort of deduced what happened that there's a zombie from a video game that was magically brought to life and is now on the loose. He's like, yeah, that tracks.
He's like, "Yep, that makes sense for what I know."
Yeah, we're 2 seasons in at this point. Yeah, I could I'll yeah, I should expect anything, you know. Um, uh, but but then but then he's like unexcited to see Jax, of course, like, oh hey, Jax, hi. Mm. Is it
Yeah.
uh the you know I and every time like the three of them are together, Jax or Emma has to calm like both of them down, particularly Jax. Like, Jax, why are you being like that? Uh, uh, it's like, come on, Jax, and also Emma, maybe you should see some signs. I don't know if he's the right person, you know,
Yeah.
even if Daniel isn't. Like, I don't know. There are plenty of other people you could find, but I guess this show has a limited cast of characters, so there's only so many options.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, and 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 so, but apparently Philip is harmless. He's like, so Andy says that she uh minimized his aggression stats, but he'll only attack people or be threatening at all if there's screaming or bright lights. So now we know, and they're like, okay, let's split up and look for him. Let's split up, gang, Scooby Doo style. Um,
Literally.
and they're like, all right, let's look over here, and then and Emma is like, I'll use a locator spell. Right, I was gonna say that. So Jax, he totally wasn't. Um, he didn't know that solution, but they're like, yeah, let's split up. Then we cut to okay, what did you think of um what did you make of what was going on with this guy that had the British accent and the goggles? How confused were you?
Okay, so confused. It like cut to them or
Yeah.
cut to him for like half a second, and I was like, I was able to put together that I think he is Agamemnon.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I just truly had no idea what was happening. And so I'm assuming there's some plot line happening there. And I
Hmm.
get the feeling that the like wizarding world is in trouble in some way and he's
Yeah.
trying to like save it. But
Yeah.
I have literally no idea what's happening.
So
I
there's
was
the
just like,
witch
that's a man.
yeah, there's the witches council and there so Desdemona, who's like the who at this point is the like villainous secret mastermind. She she's not a very subtle secret mastermind. Um
No.
uh, and but she's like, "Oh, look inside Nurse Lily's bag." She was Emma's guardian before, and the Lily was it, but Desdemona was like, "Oh, look inside her bag. Look, there's so there's Ramona, who you saw a bit of a flashback of later, and she was like banished to limbo, um, earlier on, and Desdemona was like, keeping her, out of the way, and because she's under the influence of the full moon, which is making witches and wizards act crazy, but she's like, I'm plotting to overthrow the magic realm using the last light of the full moon, so that I'll be the last witch standing or something. Um, and she very clumsily is like, oh, look at this stuff that was in Lily's bag. Uh, Look, she's clearly the one who's guilty because like, oh, look, here's Ramona's shoe, and then Agamemnon, he like sniffs it and he's like, oh, it has Ramona's distinct scent, roses and pepperoni. What?
Crazy combo. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, just also the way he said it, he rolls his R's.
Does he always roll his R's?
He rolls his R's to be dramatic at key moments in his mind. You know,
I mean, like, I love the drama, so I can't blame him.
he's a he's a very he's a very theatrical person.
As he should
Yes,
be.
and the and oh look, says Desdemona. Here's a page of the magic almanac. It has the exact hour of the last light of the full moon on it. Who could be wanting to know the exact hour of the last light of the full moon unless unless it's a powerless witch trying to use it to take power, then like rule the magic realm. Lily, what? And Could you could you like subtle could you like try and frame someone less smoothly than Desdemona does? Like is that possible to do it less like smoothly?
It's like when I'm like messing around with like my siblings and they're doing absolutely nothing, but I'm just trying to rile them up. But I'm like, Mom, Ian hit me
Yeah.
or
Just,
whatever, like at family holidays.
just make
Just,
something up.
yeah, like that's exactly what's happening.
Hmm. And I'm like, wow, Agamemnon, you're dumb to believe this. This is like she couldn't have done this any less suavely. Like, but yeah, she's like, oh yes, yeah, Lily, I can't believe you. What? I didn't do this. You can't obviously think that I did it. Oh, um, Lily has he says a spell like Lily has committed enough crimes today, so I must send her away. And then she poofs out of there.
I
Um,
do love that all of the spells rhyme, I will say. I'm a
yeah,
fan of the rhyming spells.
yeah, that's how spells work. You just have to make up a rhyme. I mean, to an extent. Yeah. So like Emma will like in the morning she'll be like, I wish I had a special tool that got me ready for school, and then she'll be like all like done up for the day. Uh, And
Amazing.
so you,
Iconic.
but so you can either make up spells, but then there's also the spell book that they use called the Hexerin. It's a flying magic book. But yeah, and so then so then they're at so then we cut back to Emma's house, and Daniel's like, "Wait, are you putting on lip gloss for the zombie?" And that I think that shows how clueless Daniel is, because what Andy's holding is clearly not lip gloss; it's a tube of chapstick. Um, I mean, does lip gloss ever come in a tube like that? Like that you'd put like that,
Not.
as opposed to like the wand that comes out with the thing. Yeah.
There are some lip glosses that like come out of like a tube, but
Hmm.
not like a chapstick tube.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of tube. They look very different. And like I personally don't see how you could get them confused, but also like I know the difference. So like
Yeah.
I'm biased.
And also, like, Daniel hasn't grown up wearing makeup, so I can forgive him for not knowing the difference.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. As a budding trans person, I had to get all my makeup tips from a Target employee, a super sweet Target employee, showing me what all the stuff was. And that was
That's
one of
so sweet.
yeah, that was one of my that was a fond memory I have. Just yeah, that Target employee being super helpful. Thank you. Thank you wherever you are. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but if you happen to be listening, whatever. Um, but but yeah, and 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 he's and she's like, no, I'm just my lips are dry, and then Jack is like, leave Andy alone, will you, Daniel? And didn't you get the vibe that he wasn't like concerned for how she was feeling, and more that it was just an opportunity to take a jab at Daniel, you know?
Oh, 100%. I don't really think that he cares about Andy in any meaningful way. I think
Yeah.
he just like doesn't like Daniel and wants everyone to know that he doesn't like Daniel and wants to make it like super clear how he
Hmm.
feels about Daniel.
Yeah, and of course he's young, so he's not super subtle about it either. So yeah,
Oh no, these kids aren't subtle about anything.
yeah. That the show doesn't have a lot of subtlety to it. You might have noticed. That Emma's like she's like about to do the locator spell, and then Andy's like, "Wait, I think he should be allowed to stay with me and like date me for real in the real world." And Daniel and Emma are like, "I don't know about this." But Jax is like, "Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea, actually." Probably because it's the opposite of what Daniel thinks. So
Without a doubt. I think he just wants to be like a naysayer, you know?
yeah, that is his vibe. Uh, you're totally right. And but she's like, Emma is like, I don't know, that that would be dangerous, and I think you can do better. But Philip gets me. He's not like the other boys. Essentially, they say that, and he's not afraid of my chainsaw or my ninja stars. We've seen that Andy does in fact own a chainsaw and like carry it around like most of the time. Like
What? She just casually has a chainsaw?
yes, legit in the last episode, like she was at a beach party with everyone, and like there was a pinata because it was Katie's birthday, and when it was Andy's turn to like try and bust the pinata, she pulls out her chainsaw. Uh,
See, this is what I'm talking about, the logistics. These kids are in what, middle school, I'm assuming?
high
Maybe
school,
early high school?
yeah.
Who
They
is
they
letting their high school children around with a chainsaw?
well, I mean, I guess these parents are mostly absent. I guess I don't know.
And like I guess there is the argument that they live in a magical world with like
Yeah,
where you can bring zombies out of a video game and so like logic isn't necessary at this point.
yeah,
But I love logic. I want things to be rooted in truth.
yeah. And it's implied earlier that Andy like legit brought her chainsaw to school. Like there's one scene where she like implies that she has her chainsaw on her while at school, and it's like what? Uh,
Okay, is the whole school magical in some way?
no,
No,
um,
just our group of people.
yeah, uh,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah. There's yeah, the extent of the magic users at the school who are students. There's Emma, there's Maddie who are witches. Jax is a wizard. Diego is a Kanai. Um, and as we see later on, there's like racism between witches and kanais. There's like racial tension, um, and like yeah, the way that Maddie's mom acts about it, uh, I was like, oh yeah, they know, yeah, that's evoking some real world stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, Maddie's mom, so rude. So
Yeah.
rude.
Mm-hmm. She's the Karen, like the upper class like country club
Yeah.
lady.
A true wasp.
Mm-hmm. Uh, well, my friend Tanner has said that like she's the waspy lady, but I don't know. But he's like I don't know if the P counts if because you know she believes in witches and whatnot. If
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. She's a wasp.
she's a was
Oh, I guess it would be pronounced was.
yeah. But so so Daniel's like no, don't do it. But Jax is like, yeah, do it. And so Emma's like, I'll make you a deal. As long as he doesn't threaten anyone, then we'll let him stay. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, says Andy. Um, so she casts a spell to bring him back, and then he and Andy have a close moment. Ha, Philip, Andy, like, and they like hold hands, and then she says, "These are all my friends. Say hi." And he says, hi. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. Um,
I did think it was sweet. And I also was surprised at how gentle he was, considering the fact that he is a zombie.
hmm Well, I mean, his aggression stats were intentionally made the lowest possible, as Andy said. Which is good and convenient, you know. Um, like that. And and that so then we cut to Daniel's siblings. What'd you think of them? Um,
They were such hilarious little instigators. And
yes.
I also felt like the youngest one was, he seems to have a flair for the theatrical.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like it took them, what, like 5 scenes
Mm-hmm.
to decide who they were going to canon, and then it wasn't even their choice.
Yeah.
What was the point? I mean, I know what the point was, but I just thought that the drama was funny.
Yeah. And also the fact that their grandma aids and abets them. They're like, oh, we got this gadget from grandma that she sent us. Like,
Literally, who has gadgets like that? Who is your grandma? Is your
that
grandma Dr. Doofenshmirtz?
yes, because they send this. she sends them a foaminator. An inator. What? Is it? Yes. Doofenshmirtz. Like, hello.
So Doofenshmirtz coded.
Yes.
Was waiting
Uh,
for a platypus to jump out and try and stop them.
oh yeah, that man. Could you imagine the every which way Phineas and Ferb crossover? So,
Honestly, that would be iconic.
yeah.
Because so didn't Phineas and Ferb have a Fairly Odd Parents crossover, or did I make that up?
Well, I mean, they were on. I haven't heard of that happening, and they were on different networks. So, um,
So yeah, I probably made that up. That's fine. I feel like they did do a crossover episode with someone. I just like can't
hmm
remember where. But I just love Phineas and Ferb so much.
yes, but they legit say foaminator. Like, uh, I'm just mad they didn't say it like inator. You know. Uh, Um, so yeah, we'll pitch that to the studios. Like all the every which way characters become cartoon form and go into the Phineas and Ferb world.
Yes. I'm
Uh,
so thrilled for everything we're bringing up to the big dogs.
yes, exactly. And so they're like, who should we prank with the cannon? Should we prank Daniel or Jax? They're like the two older siblings are split on it, and they're like, Tommy, you decide. Hmm, you both have made some compelling points, he says, but Uh, I choose confetti. What? What confetti? Here's confetti. And then he presses the button and confetti sprays everywhere. Like, haha. What? I don't know. That's a pretty mild prank as far as they go, I think. Just just spraying confetti everywhere. That's not like much of a prank. I don't think.
It's it's not much of a prank at all, and like I feel like as a sibling myself, I have
hmm
very strong feelings about whether or not I would want to prank my sibling. And I
hmm
think that Tommy needs to have stronger opinions on whether or not he would want to prank his sibling.
Yeah, he didn't pick a side. He just deflected and not um
Like, I know you want to prank your sibling, Tommy. Just say it with your chest.
hmm Yeah, totally. But then we cut back to Andy at the house. He's like, "I swear I'll do something to repay you, Emma. I'll. How about I do your homework for a month? No, wait, you get better grades than me. I love everyone's self awareness. You know, like they regularly say like, don't panic. That's my thing.
Hilarious. So self aware.
mm-hmm. Uh, and it, yeah. Also, Phineas and Ferb characters are very self-aware about like talking about their aspects and things.
Maybe there really should be a crossover.
Yeah, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'll reach out to the executives. Oh, have you seen So of course recently I've gotten to interview two of the costume designers behind this show, which is exciting. Um, uh, yeah, including the costume designer for this season. I got to
Wow.
Yeah, I got to interview her just a couple weeks ago, which was really exciting. And she like gave some insight about what it was like to create the costumes for the new characters, like for Jax and for the Witches Council members. She created them, including like Agamemnon's look with with the goggles. She did that,
Nice. Nice.
and
When was all of this filmed? Was it filmed in like 2014, 2015?
yes, it was.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and well, but in like 2013 too, like for the first season. But yeah,
Okay.
um, and it was filmed in Miami, that which is where it takes place.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Apparently, a lot of like Latin American like telenovelas are filmed in Miami. Um,
Yes. Yes. There's a huge Latin American population in Miami,
hmm
so the
and
drama's there.
exactly, and the and also that she brought up. I made sure to ask her about. I don't, and I want to know if you noticed this: the amount of statement necklaces that characters have.
Oh my gosh. Or like there were just so many things. Like I think at one point Emma was wearing a high-low dress, and then
Mm-hmm.
like the patterns and just the way that things were layered, it was just screaming 2010s. And
Mm-hmm.
this whole time I thought that it was a newer TV show, and so I thought that they were doing it as like a fun like nostalgic thing. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize it was filmed then, and so it was just actually on trend. But
Yeah.
yes, I did notice.
It's so wonderfully a time capsule in its style. It,
It so is.
yeah. And yeah, at one time I was like, in an episode I saw like a backpack in the background. I was like, oh my god, my sister owned that exact backpack. You know?
Yeah. I did really love how like accurate it was.
Yeah. And Emma's like, uh, or Andy's like, how about I do your laundry? I could, but Emma's like, you don't even know how to do laundry. Yeah, I do. I just hand it to my mom, and then 5 minutes later, bing bang boom, it's done.
5 minutes. I didn't realize it was a 5 minute laundry turnaround.
But I don't think if that is true, then I don't think her mom is doing the laundry properly.
Yep, definitely not. Or her
And
mom has some secrets.
ooh, is Andy's mom a witch? Oh,
I think the answer is yes.
that's a solid theory right there. Um, if I ever get to interview like any of the writers behind this show, I'll ask them that. Um, just based on that line, we're like, ooh, is Andy's mom a witch? Um, but even though even though Andy doesn't have any powers, is Andy a powerless witch? That that's what the reboot will explore, I guess.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And or actually, there was a after this show ended, there was a brief like 1 season long spin off where Andy becomes a magic guardian,
Oh my gosh.
at where she's like the lead and like teaching a bunch of young magic students. Um, so yeah, maybe there could be something mentioned about it there. I don't know. I'll get to it. But
Can't wait.
yeah, um, but Emma's just like, I'm so happy that you're happy. Um, and they're like, "Aw, that's true friendship." And then then there's the bit about Jax not knowing what laundry is.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh, yeah. How do you not know what laundry is?
wait, you need to wash your clothes? Wait.
Insane.
And he's like, and everyone's like, you never, like, with the implication, like, you never wash your clothes? Gross. Yeah. Uh, but, yeah. And, he doesn't have his powers anymore, so I'm assuming that when he did, he would always just use magic to flash his clothes, changes of clothes, you know?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought that he was gross. I didn't even think about the potential that he just could be magic. Well, I knew he was magic, but I didn't think about the fact that he just could use magic.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly talks about using magic to rule the world. Will like
Honest, evil vibes.
Emma doesn't like the fact that Emma just thought he was joking. I know that's skipping ahead a bit, but like she just like, haha, you're so funny, Jax. Yeah, that was just a joke. Hee hee.
Yeah, and the way he responded, and he was just like, yeah, totally. That was totally, totally, totally just a joke. Yeah, you're right. I'm so funny. Like, girl.
She's just blinded by love, I guess.
You know, honestly, we've all been there. Or maybe I'm
Yeah.
just speaking for myself. I've definitely been there.
You've had partners who were like wanting to take over the world legitimately.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you should definitely like ask Addie about her intentions. Like, ooh, is she wanting to take like magic powers for herself and then rule the world?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. She probably does. I'll get her on the
Uh,
phone right now.
yeah, and so but then they're like, what do zombies eat? Because Philip says Philip hungry, and so they're like, what do zombies eat? Never mind, because because Andy, of course, remembers what zombies eat actually. Um, uh, which yeah, Philip then goes for his favorite natural food later, brains. Um, but they're like, pizza is your favorite food now. What is pizza? Uh, oh, we got some leftover pizza here. Um, it's a jalapeno mushroom butterscotch pizza that we have left over. Ugh, that's ugh. I don't want that.
I don't necessarily want a jalapeno mushroom butterscotch pizza, but I do think it would be iconic to try pizza for the first time, like as a teenager, when you're
Mhm.
like aware of how, like when you can be aware of how good pizza really is,
Yeah.
and then you try it for the first time and it's like life changing.
Hmm. That yeah, that would be awesome. Like you see those videos on there's like YouTube videos of like vegetarian trying meat for the first time, you know. It's
Exactly. Yes.
it'd be kind of like that, except more iconic, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so 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 Andy's like, think fast, and tosses the slices of pizza to Philip, and he's like, whoop, catches them on two forks, which is he's very coordinated. I suppose he is, even though he
Yeah,
stumbles
going
around.
going back to that football dive, he's coordinated enough.
Yes, and then we cut to the scene of the waspy racism because um Ursula is like super Maddie's mom is super upset at Maddie dating Diego. What'd you think of Maddie and Diego and their whole thing?
It honestly like took me a minute to like actually piece together what was happening.
Hmm.
Um, because like it like showed them together and I just assumed that they were fully dating.
Hmm.
Um, and then like I didn't really feel like Diego's vibe was what I expected. And then like
Hmm.
Diego being stuck between Maddie and then like Emma and Andy and it
Hmm.
just like took me a minute, but I thought it was interesting that he's going for this like I feel like Maddie is like your stereotypical like blonde preppy girl and that he's
Hmm.
going for her and like I am hypothesizing I
Yeah.
think that potentially Diego and Andy will date in later seasons because
Oh.
they're like friends and they never considered each other the option and it'll be kind of like girl next door vibes almost, but I
Hmm.
also could just be making things up that there's nothing there because I've seen two episodes.
Sure. Yeah. Girl next door vibe, almost literally, because everyone like lives within a couple blocks of each other. You know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So literally girl next door.
Yeah. Daniel and Emma live across the street directly from each other. Andy like lives a couple
Oh,
doors down.
I
Um,
bet Jax loves that.
yeah, and and Jax like lives a driving distance away. I think we know that. At least I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but well, he can't like teleport over anymore because his powers are gone. So um, but
That would be
yeah,
a real bummer, being able to teleport and then no longer being able to teleport.
yes, totally. And but yeah, the so Ursula is like super upset at the two of them being close, and she says, "No self-respecting witch will ever be dating a Kanai." Uh, and I was like, I've talked before, like like when it comes to the treatment of this relationship and how Maddie's mom is like reacting to it. I was like, yeah, that I think the writers are doing like they know what they're doing, like you know, bringing in parallels to like real world like mixed race relationships and like how waspy what white families aren't they'll violently react against that, you know. Um,
I also think it was interesting the fact that I'm assuming that Diego's character is a brown person.
hmm.
And like as a fellow brown person here, I thought it was
Yeah,
interesting the fact that like the thing that we were focusing on was the fact that he was a Kane and not the fact that he is brown.
yeah,
Because like, we're gonna like it's like it is like racially charged in one way or another, whether we're talking about the
Hmm.
fact that he's brown or the fact that he's a Canadian. I just think it's interesting that they chose
Yeah.
to focus on like the more magical part of it as opposed to like what is real. But I also guess that like if it's real, it would be too real for it to be on a show for teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, they get as close as they can because she's like, uh, well, because then Maddie responds with, "You're just being prejudiced." Like,
Honestly, yeah.
quote, uh, and and she's like, we're gonna go to the play together. You're gonna be seen together in public? Yes. Yeah, yeah. And she like holds his hand. And then we're gonna eat together at a restaurant.
I know it was giving like the same vibes. I'm just referencing all kinds of media right
Oh,
now.
go for it.
Um, in The Greatest Showman,
Oh
when
yeah.
Zac Efron's character is like going to the play with Zendaya's character, and then
Yeah.
like his parents are there, and it's a whole thing. It's like that, but better because he bails out of that. I know, like in the end, he ends up being a good person who like is like, yeah, I want to date you like for real, and I'm not scared of my parents. But in that scene,
Mhm.
he was scared of his parents.
Yeah. Yeah, she like he ne Diego like never acts like afraid enough of Maddie's mom to want to bail, which is like I think a good like good mark of his character, you know? Um
Yeah.
I mean they of course they do like try and hide it, of course, but he's never like, "Oh, I'm scared of your mom. I don't know if this is right for us." He like never says that, which is neat.
Yeah, and I think also like they're not trying to hide it in a way that's like actually effective. So
Mhm.
they're just like,
Yeah. And but yeah, she ends up becoming like uh having like an asthma attack on the floor because of the frightful possibility of like her daughter who's white and slash a witch, pick your poison, being seen with the Hispanic person slash the Kanai, you know.
I
Um
mean, can't think of anything worse.
oh
Gosh.
th think of the think of your reputation or something, and think of our standing in society. Uh,
On it, so old timey. So old
yeah,
timey vibes.
and yeah, Maddie's mom is a pretty cringeworthy character in just about every regard, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
She seems very cringy.
yeah, um, and like this is a I don't know if I told you this, but this is based on a Latin American telenovela called Grachi. Like there was an original that this is an adaptation of in the English language.
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the Mean Girls mom in that show too was played by the same actress. Her name is Katie Barberi, and
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, so the same actress like played the same role in both because she's bilingual, which is neat. And yeah, she plays her role well. She yeah, and like you know acts you know with 110%. She's like Maddie Winky and
Yeah.
all exactly. And but yeah, then we cut back to Philip being worried that Andy doesn't like him because like when he puts on clothes like okay, so he grabs clothes. So he puts on like human clothes for the first time, like different clothes, and then but like did he get those clothes out of Emma's closet? I think that's what they imply. So is like does Emma have boy clothes in her closet? Oh, that's that's an interesting like angle there.
That does
So
seem like maybe she magicked them into her closet.
that's probably right. I just went on a thought spiral in my mind of like, ooh, does Emma have her like mask vibes sometimes? Like,
Maybe she does. We don't know what Emma's living her life behind closed doors.
ooh, like of course like we go on these like spirals of like, ooh, that would like awesome progressive things like based on just really nothing. But like
Yeah. I mean, at first, my first thought was like, oh, maybe it was Jax or maybe it was Daniels, but I don't
Yeah,
think that that's likely either.
yeah. It probably is just that that Emma magicked these clothes into the room and they put them on, but like, uh, I now I'd really like to think that Emma like sometimes like dresses like the opposite gender sort of way, like, and that we've just never seen it, you know?
I mean, I think we can tell ourselves whatever we want when there's no one here telling us that we're wrong.
Exactly. So like, yeah, headcanon that like Emma has her mask moment sometimes. Like you know how Lord recently said like, "Oh, I feel like a man sometimes," you know?
Yeah,
Like that.
exactly.
So Emma's having a Lord moment over here. Um, and yeah. Um I never seen a diamond in the flesh. Sorry. Um
No, kill it.
I I cut my teeth up. Let's just turn this into a karaoke session.
Amazing. Perfect.
So yeah.
But we can
Um
only
but
sing
yeah.
Lord songs.
Yeah. Emma's got that solar power, you know. I I love how the tangents on the like I would like just where our minds go sometimes, like with other guests too. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So Philip puts on his preppy clothes and Emma or Andy's like, I don't know, that's not what I'd prefer you wear. I'd like if you wore like these cargo pants or something. But and Philip is like, Andy, no like Philip. No, 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 I do like you. I think you're super cool. And the, and then and Emma's like, yeah, Andy has never had a crush before. And so I was like, man, Andy, aromantic represent, you know. Um, love those vibes. And but uh, but Jax of course snaps back at Daniel again, saying Emma could do whatever she wants. And then uh, or yeah, but then he's like, we should go on a date to celebrate. No, no, he doesn't. No, Daniel's not there at this point. He's like, because you're the chosen one, you can do whatever you want, and we should go on a date to celebrate getting through the full moon. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And then he straight up says like, I anything could happen at the end of the full moon. I could get my powers back, and then we together could destroy the magic realm when the opportunity arises. Yes, let's do it together. What? That's a funny joke, Jax. Oh yeah, I was totally joking. Yeah,
Totally joking. Totally, totally.
you ever had a partner make jokes like that, like say some really like horrendous stuff, and then they're like, totally joking.
No.
Like, hey, we should totally set that building on fire. Haha, yeah. You never had that happen?
Not that I can think of. I feel like I sometimes like make jokes,
Hmm.
but like not it's never like where it could harm someone else, you
Yeah,
know? It's always like self-deprecating.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I getcha. Um, and but then we cut to Emma goes to pick up the pizza order, and like, hey, did you get my order of the extra large olive bacon peanut butter pizza? That sounds disgusting.
Hi, I'm Diego, and no, I did not get your extra large olive bacon peanut butter pizza because that's crazy. Pick something normal.
Yeah. Uh, and but Diego's like, oh, I actually did get your order, but I didn't make it yet because I'm
Yeah.
swamped with orders because Gigi didn't show up for work. Uh, like what? The um and but Emma's like, do you think that Gigi knows about magic somehow? And he's like, oh yeah, and she hates it. Well, we went to this magic show once, and she's like, no, 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 not that kind of magic. I mean, like real magic, like me, Maddie, and you being a Kanai. Oh, he didn't that didn't pop into his mind. Like like the fact that him and his friends have magic powers. He just assumed that she was talking about like, oh, stage magic. Haha, Diego's so forgetful, I guess.
It was giving like kind of himbo vibes,
Yes.
like just like I don't know, just himbo. That's the only way I can describe it. He just
Yeah.
wasn't beefy enough to be a himbo, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's like there's a joke a couple episodes previous to this where we find out that Diego has like super horrendous grades, but then Emma's like, "Hey, don't don't get on Diego for that. He's street smart." I was like,
Exactly.
yeah, it, which is yeah, and but 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 they're like, I don't know. Emma's like, I think that Gigi might know about magic somehow. I mean, she didn't find it weird when I teletransported in front of her. By the way, I hate the fact that they say teletransport. That's like so ham-fisted, you know.
Yeah, because it's just teleporting. You're just maybe the
Yeah,
word teleport is somehow trademarked.
or they just wanted to make a new word to sound cool, like to put their own stamp on it. Yeah,
Yeah, they just didn't want to be like other girls.
yeah. We don't want to be like other witchy shows.
Mm-mm. Can't be like other girls. Can't do that. Gotta be
Yeah,
special.
yeah. And but of course, that as Emma's talking about Gigi, Gigi is watching from the sidelines. Oh, and I I don't know. Maybe someone else told her about magic. And then we cut back to Maddie's house. Ursula's like, "Oh, look at you with your friend." Uh, and then Diego's like, "Wait, did you just call me your friend?" And we don't know at first if it's like positive or negative the way he thinks about it. But he's like, "Oh, you call me a friend instead of disgusting Kanai. That's progress." um, and then he like goes up close to her to like try and like give her a hug or something. She's like, "No, no, no, no." I need to talk with my Maddie Winky alone. And then Maddie's like, "Proxy." She calls him Proxy, by the way. Would you?
I noticed, is that like, that's just like a nickname that she's giving him? She's calling him her proxy?
Yes. Um,
Okay.
and that dates back to there was a whole thing where Maddie lost her powers, and so she had him like use his Kanai powers to do the stuff that she'd want for her by proxy. That was,
Okay.
and so, but they're sticking with that now, even after Maddie has her powers back. Um, but yeah, uh, make me a chocolate shake, please. And what's so funny is like he goes off to make it, and Maddie's mom is like, "Wait, you just said please?" Yeah, I've been learning to be more gracious. It's the gracious kind of bossing around. Oh, Maddie, he's such a bad influence on you. He's making you like ch change your personality to be nicer. We can't have that. Yeah,
As if being nice is a bad thing.
yeah, she's like, "You're saying please? Oh, I don't like his influence on you."
Insane.
Yeah, yeah, could you be any less subtle that you're like I'm the bad person character, you know?
Literally.
Yeah. And wait, and what wait, I thought you were calling him my friend and that you were being nice. Well, that was just my honey to lure you into my trap. What? That's my thing, says Maddie. Like, I use that tactic. Well, your well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And and as your tree, I forbid you from dating him. Oh dear. So the second episode that we watched here is called Andy and Philip sitting in a tree. So like, does that mean sitting with Maddie's mom? And that
God, hopefully not.
uh, that yeah. I had that thought like when like as the episodes were ending. I was like, wait, she said sitting in a as your tree. Like, wait, what? So, but yeah. Also, let me know if you feel like I'm wasting too much time or like we're not going quickly enough. Or, like if you need to get to something else, you know. 'Cause I sometimes ramble for too long, you know.
No,
That's
you're fine. I do have another meeting at 3. So
so
like maybe slightly faster, but like I'm not worried about it right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So so then Philip he like you said, he just somehow enrolls at school. Um
I get somehow. I don't know how.
did
I don't know
Emma
who his adult is. I don't know where his papers are. I don't.
do Andy's parents know about him? Like what?
Honestly, where is he sleeping? What is going on?
Yeah, we just never addressed that. Like like what how is this working? Uh like like they never hint about Andy's parents being aware of this, but like Emma's dad is aware of it that he exists. Like but not aware of him being a zombie. He just assumes that like oh he's just a kid who doesn't talk much. I guess.
He just looks a little pale, I
Yeah,
guess. Needs to get out in the sun more.
yeah. Just like me, to be honest. Yeah.
Honestly, same.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And but he Philip got his exact schedule. So I'm guessing Emma did this. I'm guessing Emma created paperwork magically. Um.
Yeah. I feel like also that makes sense. I just wish that they had told me. I don't want to
Yeah.
wonder.
And that Emma. It makes sense that Emma, like being nice, would like magically give, or not just being nice, to make sure that Andy could keep an eye on him at all times. To to give him the exact same schedule that Andy has in terms of classes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But but she's like, yeah, Iridium High is a lot like Desolation High that you in your video game, except without all the giant nuclear mice. And uh, then the Panthers are like, who is this? Oh, this is Philip. I met him he's from my gaming group, the greatest gamers of Miami, my gaming group. Yeah.
A clever save. A clever
Yes.
save.
Yeah. It's not the worst save that anyone in the show has come up with by any stretch. Um, like one time, Emma was like, "I was at the mall. I mean, the movies, the mall of movies."
The Mall of Movies?
Yeah, you should have like heard yourself before you said that, Emma. Like,
Honestly. Also, why are we hiding that we were at the mall?
no, that both of those were lies to cover up something else. But yeah,
Perfect. Okay. I see. I see.
it was
So we're
over
just.
it was over a clone situation. She created a bunch of clones of
Oh.
herself.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe
One
then
of
she was at the Mall of Movies.
yeah,
Maybe
totally.
one of her little clones went to one.
Yeah, like there's a like where I live, like the one of the movie theaters I go to regularly is at a mall. So like you like is it's you could debatably call it the mall of movies, I guess. If you're
Yeah. It's the
that's
movie section of the mall. Mall of Movies.
yeah. And like there's a whole like selection of theaters, like all in a row, like shops in a mall. So
Exactly. Perfect.
yeah, and yeah, it's the mall of movies. That's what I'll call it from now on. And as but then they're like, wait, is he your? Are you guys boyfriend girlfriend? And then hilariously, this is one of the funniest moments in the episode to me. She's like, "Are you guys boyfriend girlfriend?" And then they're both like, "Uh, we gotta go."
I thought that was so funny. But then also at the same time, I was like, why are you hiding it right now like that? Like for
Are
both
you?
couples, I was like, it's clearly that you guys are like together right now. So why are you hiding it from all your little friends?
And like Maddie and Diego, are you afraid that like Andy is gonna tell Maddie's mom? Because I really don't think she will.
Also, Maddie's mom already knows basically.
Yeah. But I also got the vibe that they're like not sure whether they're really a couple yet themselves.
Mm,
They're like,
honestly, that's fair. Okay.
like as far as Maddie and Diego are, they're like, I don't know, are we a thing? I don't know. Let's try and figure this out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was one of my favorite moments of this bundle here. And then what did you think of this montage where Andy and Philip start washing a car, and then we're like playfully fighting, oh, with the hose and splashing each other with bubbles, and
I didn't like process that a montage was happening because it just like seemed like it was going to be like a silly little like joke and then like a lot of things happened. But it was honestly
mhm.
really cute and it was giving that like I don't know, it was just kind of like nostalgic feeling to see that montage.
Oh yeah, and then the we got like a shot of like Jax and Emma being together in the restaurant, and then Daniel's like, oh, coming in, oh, Jax and
Yeah.
Emma are together. Nope.
Leaving.
Yeah, and then we got Maddie and Diego sneaking around, like, oh, better not let Mom see Diego here. Whoop. And the fact that he like Maddie's mom enters the room as the two of them are sitting on the couch, but he like whoop, I'm gonna leapfrog onto the couch, jump behind
Yeah.
it, and Maddie's mom doesn't notice, like like whoop, and she's like, whoa, did I just hear something? No.
No, nothing.
She she does a perfectly natural pose, like yeah,
Because everyone just sits on the couch like that. Come on, Raina, don't you?
oh yeah, yeah. Whenever like my roommate gets home and I'm on the couch not doing anything suspicious at all, I always wave like that, like yeah,
Always.
exactly.
A weird
And
little elbow bend.
oh yeah, and yeah, and we also get Jax and Diego at their play rehearsal, and they there's a sword fight in the play in which they're clearly like letting out, like they're like fighting for real through it, you know, just like
Yeah.
yeah, and that, and then they can't resist doing that in the actual play later, like they do it when they're not supposed to, of course. Um,
No, that was so much drama, I will say. That was
yeah,
kind of interesting to watch, like kind of fun to watch. I loved the drama of it.
mm-hmm. And also, Emma can't handle watching horror movies. And like the two couples, like Andy, Philip, Jax, and Emma are there, and they're like watching horror movies, but Emma's like, no. And Jax is like, haha, Emma, you're so squeamish, haha.
I did also think it was funny that she was so scared to watch a horror movie when she's sitting like in very close proximity to a literal zombie.
Yeah,
Like, girl, you're in the horror movie.
exactly. And also, you're dating Jax. That's a horror movie in itself.
Literally. Your life right
Burn,
now is a
Jax.
horror movie.
Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah. So, but that's yeah. That this do doing this podcast is an escape. Like it's a it's a distraction from the horrors of our modern day. You know.
Oh, like I need a distraction every day from our modern day.
Yeah. You. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Let's. Yeah. So what? Once I'm done with this podcast, let's do our daily Jane the Virgin podcast.
Perfect. Amazing. Yes.
And yeah, let's use that as some respite, you know, in the day. Um, so then so that montage ends, and like then we cut to Philip and Andy as a date at the 70s, like more pizza. Uh, But you've already eaten like 7 extra larges. More pizza. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like where this is, I mean, like we end up finding out later where the money's coming from, but I was so pressed about
mhm.
where Andy got the money for 7 extra large pizzas.
Wait, what exactly did she say? I must have missed it.
Oh, it's like at the end of the episode, I
Okay,
think.
I don't think I caught it. I
Oh,
must have
yeah. So it's like after the play when they're at the
7.
place, when they're at seven, and I don't remember exactly how it comes to be, but so
Mhm.
she's like, I just spent like half my, or like almost, I drained almost all of my savings buying all this
Mhm.
pizza, and he wants more pizza.
I
So then she was asking the friend, I think she was asking Jax for some cash to buy more pizza because
Oh
she's
yeah.
running out of money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, fair. Yeah. They're like, yeah, her that um um good thing we don't see Andy's parents in these episodes because I'm guessing they're not gonna be happy about this.
Oh, probably not. They probably would not be fans.
I'm like, oh, this is my boyfriend. Ugh. Like, oh, oh, bright lights. Rah! Uh, yeah,
That's
well,
certainly a hard relationship to take home to your parents.
yeah. Like, did she even tell them that she had a boyfriend at all? Like, I
Probably
wonder.
not.
Yeah, then they would be like, because like as we like her friends are like, oh, you finally have a crush, like you've never had one before. So I assume her parents would be like, oh, you're dating someone? We want to know more, you know?
Yeah, they would be so excited, and then she'd be like, no, no.
Yeah.
And then their parents would be like, well, why not? What's wrong with him?
Uh, yeah, exactly. And but but then Philip's like, I let's be a date. I'll be your date to the play. Like tonight's the Romeo and Juliet play finally, and they're like gonna go together as a date. Aw, how nice. And but then of course Andy is like, I've never gone on a date before. What do I wear? And so Emma, of course, rises to the occasion. Like, I'll help you out. And she's breathing into Andy's breathing into a paper bag. And I like when she can't figure out what to wear, but then Emma's like, "Yeah, I'll help you." Oh, thanks. Oh, she's gonna make me wear something girly, isn't she? Which I love that both of those made her nervous. You know,
Nervous,
because
don't want
Andy,
to be dressed too much like boy, don't want to be dressed too much like girl.
yeah,
Panic on both.
the gender fluid panic, I guess. Uh, and and you know, she's not like other girls, so
She's not like other girls. That's what we're always saying.
yeah, and 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 so then Francisco, Emma's dad, meets Philip and he's like, important night, huh? Uh, uh, and Francisco's like, okay then. He's just like that, I guess. And, I love how he didn't like pry too much into why he acts like that. Just like, oh, okay.
And she's like, okay, that's a weird kid. Cool, great.
Yeah. Well, at least he's not dating my kid. You know, Andy does what she does, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then uh and then she Andy comes out in a ponytail. But I don't know if a ponytail suits her the best, like with the streaks in her hair. Like you'd still want those to be visible, I guess. I don't um I don't know, but uh did you have an and like it was a nice dress that I think fit her vibe enough, you know. Um
Agree. I agree. I think it like fit her vibe. It was like just edgy enough that I think she could still feel comfortable, but like feminine enough to like soften
yeah.
her edges.
Yeah, it was neat, but yeah, yeah. I would have still like wanted her streaks to be visible, like maybe like make her hair wavy a little bit, you know? That would have been
Yeah.
cool. I don't know.
And like I
Um,
personally like, and I know that it like all comes down to personal preference, but I almost
yeah,
always prefer hair down for like formal
yeah.
things. And so like I
hmm
wish that it had just been a little more comfortable like that.
I think the vibe was like, oh, we need to make her look different, so put her hair in a ponytail. That'll be very different from how she normally looks. Um,
Yeah, it's like let me take off my glasses and now I'm like the most beautiful girl in the room.
yeah, that trope. Like Um, I love when movies or shows like subvert that and like the beautification moment is them putting on glasses like that they normally don't
Amazing.
wear. You know,
Yeah.
like oh yeah, I normally wear contacts, but I think it's easier for you to wear glasses. So I think you look most authentic if you do wear your glasses. Oh yeah, but, it's always nice when it's at least flipped around, on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
And so then so then Philip has a bad reaction to the camera flash when Francisco takes a picture. Psh, ah! Oh dear. The That's his first of a few times of like about to attack people with the bright lights.
A true
And
start to the downfall.
yeah, he never came back from the brink. Um, but I mean, he's starting towards the cliff. Yeah. Um,
Yes.
but uh, so then the terrible three, they're like, we're setting up our prank at the play, and but their mom comes by and like, what's that you're holding? It's my new phone. Yeah. They like wouldn't the mom like be a bit like weirded out that they got a new phone without her knowing?
That's what I'm talking about. Like the logistics. How do you not know that your child gets a new phone?
Did she just assume that their dad got it for them? That
Like why would he do that without talking to her?
right. But she's like, "Oh, you kids, those weird gadgets these days." Yeah. How she's not questioning like, of course it's a lie, it's not a phone, but she's like she doesn't pry into it like, when did you get a new phone? Like how? Why? When? What?
Honestly. And they just sounded so much like they were lying. He was like, it's not anything. It's a phone. Yeah, it's a phone.
Also, they're nicknamed the Terrible Three. They like
Literally, they're doing something nefarious.
100%. Just like but she's just like, oh, it's nothing. Uh, um, and then backstage, Jack Daniel's like, hey, Jax, have a good play, I guess. Oh, I will. Uh, good. Hey, Jax always is the one to make it awkward. Like,
He just can't be cool. He just can't be like chill. That
yeah.
boy needs a Xanax.
Like Daniel, just about all the time, he at least tries to keep things civil, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that he like is a good and kind person, and Jax is just not having it.
Mm-hmm. And and the fact that like the one I hated most was when Jax shouted at Daniel, "Don't defend Emma. That's my job as her boyfriend."
Honestly, then like defend her. Also, maybe Daniel just wants to be a good person, and you can just back off.
Mm-hmm. Just, but Jax is like, "Oh, I will," and also stay away from Emma. She's mine now. That's awful possessive. Uh, um, and then he's like, oh, well, Daniel's like, well, we belong together, so, uh.
Why don't we let Emma make the decision, boys? Let's let Emma make the call.
And I mean, she sort of has, but like, I don't know. She's made the wrong choice. I think we as outsiders can say that.
Yes,
Um,
I agree. I think she's made the wrong choice, but it's the choice that she made, so let her live. Let her live.
yeah, but also I'm sort of with Daniel. Like, if you're if you're watching your friend be in a sort of abusive relationship, like I think he's able to like see it like from the perspective as a friend. Like he's not the right person. Even
I
though,
think that that's fair, but I also think that like maybe if you know that your friend is in an abusive, and granted they're in high school, I
yeah,
wouldn't have handled it correctly in high school either. But I
yeah,
think that maybe if you know that your friend is like in an abusive relationship, that you should try to keep the peace and
hmm,
not say that she belongs with you because that's going to make
yeah,
him mad.
yeah. That was the wrong thing to say. And like, well, she belongs with me. Like, just to him, like the only possible thing that could come from that is he gets riled up.
Exactly. That's an inside thought. That's an inside thought.
Yeah. Or or like and maybe I'm not saying this is the exact right way to handle this, but a better way would be to like talk to Emma alone about it, you know?
Exactly. Like, will she get defensive? Probably, but then at least you can share your concerns as a
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like the and if Jax won't let you two be alone together, that should say something. Eh,
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but then it breaks into a fight on stage in just a minute. Um, but meanwhile, Philip, he is like about to eat the theater program. Haha. He, yeah. And, no, says Andy, don't do that. But before the play is scheduled to start, that Jax and Daniel break into a real fight on that spills out onto the stage with their plastic swords, and
I know, they were
everyone's
acting like they were real swords.
yeah, and everyone's like, I don't think this is supposed to happen. Was this in the script? No. But and that and then they fight for a little while, but then he's okay. I can't get over this. Daniel's like he's like standing there like, wait, what's this X? Looks up. Oh no! And then the foam, the T3 trigger the foam, and then the foam falls at like 0.003 miles per hour.
It was like so slow.
And he's like, "Oh no!" Stands there, stands there, and lets the foam fall on him.
It's like if something was slowly tipping off of the table and you don't go to catch it. Like, just step out of the foam. Just go
Yeah,
away, and then the foam
just
won't hit you.
just step out of, take 2 steps that way, and then it won't. And as it takes like 8 seconds to fall, like, come on, dude.
Honestly.
Uh, and then everyone's like, "Oh, haha, he got covered in foam. That's so funny." I was like, but I would be. I don't think I would just be more confused than anything. Probably if
Yeah.
I was in the audience. Like, what is that? How did that happen?
It was
Uh,
such blue foam, too.
yeah, the Terrible Three have a thing for blue stuff.
Oh, do
Like
they? Okay.
they in the first season they had two different oatmeal traps, and both of them that were like blue tinted oatmeal.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting choice.
Yeah, so um um to reference a lesbian movie, blue is the warmest color, as we all know. Uh,
We do all know.
have you do you know about that movie at all?
Yes.
Um
Yeah.
that's a problematic movie, isn't it? I mean, I was just making a joke. I'm sorry. Um,
Oh my gosh, no, don't be sorry.
yeah.
I just like
Anyway.
the trope of older people dating younger people is just always icky, but I mean,
Hmm.
that's a trope, so we're rolling with it.
Yeah, and also the fact that I, I don't know if I'll just say I don't think this will go in the podcast, but the fact that the actresses felt a bit uncomfortable on set, like with the amount of sex scenes they were filming and like how the director
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Super icky vibes.
hmm. But yeah, um, so then we go to the pizza date after, and apparently like Desdemona and Francisco are mad about all the foam that happened. They're like, ah, that kids in the foam or something, and uh, and then Jax is like, uh, uh, uh when Andy says, or Jax laughs when Andy says, like the foam will wash off, but the embarrassment will stay on him a long time. Ha 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 ha. But I get to laugh at Daniel, haha, because I love that. Um, so wait, so because like a second later, um, Daniel and Sophie come in to like rapturous applause as though like like having done the play. So like did the play go on as scheduled, like fully?
Unclear. I couldn't tell. I also thought it was interesting that like when Daniel comes in, like there's not a single drop of blue anything on him.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know if they just cleaned it up and then continued going. Unclear.
Yeah, it was like the show is trying to imply that like even after all that, like that was a huge, massive foam that hit the stage. I was like, but like they cleaned it up and then just and that whole fight that happened, like that would get emotions running high. But after that, they just did the play like as they were supposed to, because that's that's what's implied by the fact that everyone is like applauding both Danielle and Sophie as like, oh, they did a great job in the play. So I don't. So I guess
Like,
they
I guess
did.
they had to.
Yeah. Um. So
The show must
if
go on.
yeah, if that is the case, then good on them for like doing the full production like professionally enough after all that. So, but so then Philip asks Andy to dance, and she's like, I don't know. Emma's like, come on, live a little. So so then they so then they're like get on the dance floor, and Philip's dead like, bleh. And I was like, oh my god, they're doing the Thriller dance. Is it is it did that thought cross your mind? Like,
It did. And like I thought, I don't know why I thought they were gonna like commit to the bit a little bit more, and I just like forgot that he was a zombie for like half a second.
yeah, that they were gonna like dance super like gracefully and well, just like
Yeah,
yeah,
instead of just kind of like shuffling around.
yeah. And so yeah, then Emma and Jax follow in and do the shuffle dance, bringing the arms up, and then adorably the entire restaurant joins in,
I
like
thought that was so cute.
oh my god, they're doing a thing. Let's all do the thing. Yeah, but I loved it, and and uh and then Jax says, if I ever get my powers back again, like he drags Emma to the side, like, uh, you use your powers for good for other people, and you've inspired me to do good for other people. And so if I ever get my powers back again, I want to use them to make people happy the way you do. Oh my god. The, uh, now are you are you trying to like get the goodwill back through in the most ham-fisted way possible? You do so much good, and I want to do good too. You're inspiring me. That uh, o- over overcompensating much, I guess.
Honestly. Like, do you actually like Emma, or are you just trying to use her to get your powers back?
It couldn't be more obvious that it's the latter.
Honestly.
Like, is it and like if I ever get my powers back again, and you can help me, yeah, I'll help you because I like you. And oh, and then he's sort of like, oh, good. Every time, every time Emma does something that he wants and like furthers his goals in a way, he's like, oh, good. Glad that you're doing that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh, uh, but then Daniel and Sophie, they're Romeo and Juliet of the play. They come in and they're like, and everyone's like, hey, rapturous applause, yay! And and then like Emma's like, I'm gonna go congratulate Daniel, and that and and Jack's like, no problem, okay, sure, go ahead, through gritted teeth, and then Emma walks away, and he's like, Daniel really will be no problem, ever again.
He's
Uh,
giving such huge supervillain energy, and I don't love
yeah,
it.
uh, exactly. Uh, yeah, it, just yeah, doing yeah, he's yeah, not shouldn't be in this relationship. Um, but then we get the scene where Diego hides outside Maddie's window, and before school he's like, Maddie, I'm here. Like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Ursula comes out. Uh, oh, there's a plant moving outside. Oh, that's must be that skunk that I always talk about. She just makes it. This is a really funny lie that she just makes up on the spot. That skunk, like, and 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 so Diego picks up a potted plant and like tries to move to the side with like cover his face, but his legs are still visible. Um, which is hilarious. And of course Ursula doesn't see this somehow. Um,
And
they
like he's only moving like window to window to window instead of like
yeah
moving fully away.
yeah. Why wouldn't you like move completely out of the sight line?
That would make too much sense.
Yeah, because I'm yeah. Diego is not smart enough for that, I guess. Um, uh, like we're in Looney Tunes, I guess. Whoop, 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 whoop. and 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 oh, how uh skunks can yeah they move the plants around, and that's what I learned in history class. That she gives a hilarious face of like mm,
Oh, history class.
animal. She like can't believe the lie that she just said. She's like, oh, does that sound plausible? I don't know.
I gotta run with it now.
Yeah, animal history class. Wait, you take animal history class? Uh, and oh, what did you think of her? Like, this is when I made the note about the statement necklaces, which I mean is a thing in every episode. But Maddie's like her mom's black jewel statement necklace. Is,
Amazing. It was so large.
yes. Oh my god. And what I learned from the costume designer, her name's Anna. She revealed that like for every single one of the statement necklaces they had, there were doubles and triples on the set for filming. So that there was an entire like wall or like wardrobe filled with the statement necklaces.
That's crazy. And like I guess it makes sense that you would need to have like backups, but I just didn't realize that there would be more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And like every single episode there, and like between like from scene to scene there's new ones, and like they like almost never use the same one twice. So
Mm.
so I'm like, uh, should I make a YouTube video that like ranks every single statement necklace in the show on a tier list? Like
Yes. Yes.
that would be great. Um, I don't know if you saw recently, I made a video ranking every single song in the Gem and the Holograms cartoon. Um,
No, I didn't.
do you know what Gem and the Holograms is at all?
I don't, but it sounds interesting.
It's a cartoon from the 80s that this is a backpack of it, by the way, right here.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tilt the camera over here. I have an entire area of like old Gem merch and memorabilia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm helping to plan Gem Con this year. It's a convention for fans. Um but yeah, well, that's my other show that I could do a podcast about, you know. Um
I'm just really lining you up for what you're gonna do once you get through this whole show.
yeah, but like I thought about like there's like when it comes to the shows I really like, Gem already has a few different podcasts about it, but Every Which Way didn't have any, so I was like I have to be that person. I
You
have
have
to
to.
I have to take the lead, and now I have. And yeah. So but then um I'm gonna Maddie's mom says, I'm gonna pelt that skunk with my hair curlers. Wait, mom, those are hot hair curlers. Yeah. So, oh my god, she's off the wall. She's unhinged. Um, yeah. Have you ever used hot hair curlers?
When I was a kid, yeah, and like honestly, I've kind of been thinking about getting back into hot hair curlers or sleep curlers. Both are
Mm-hmm.
so cool. But I thought it was interesting that like she got more excited that it was a hot hair curler to throw it at the skunk, but then
Yeah.
she's just gonna have one like section of hair that isn't curled at all because she took it
Mm-hmm.
out while it was still hot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the vanity in me.
Yeah. And I know I know people listening can't see this, but my hair is not the type to need curlers at all. So
Yeah, you're too blessed.
yeah, that it runs on my dad's side of the family, I guess. Um,
Mm.
so but yeah, I wasn't into it for a while. Like I wanted it. I did get it straightened at one point, but now I'm like, nah, embrace it. Yeah. Uh, um. Yeah. You remember like when we were at school together, I would wear like wigs that were like more straight. Remember? Oh.
Oh gosh, yeah, I do remember those. I see you so much with just your natural hair now that I completely forgot.
Oh yeah. Like the. I think I still have the blonde wig somewhere, but I haven't needed to wear it in like a few years now. As
Yeah.
being like out and proud to the family and all. But yeah. Um. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I think I think being into this show at a younger I know this is going off topic a bit, but get being into the show at a younger age might have like influenced me in like the sort type of aesthetic I enjoy, like the more girly aesthetic, you know? Um
Yeah.
like oh that like the fact that I was like, "Oh, this is what I enjoy." Like, "Oh, like does that like say something about me and like the way I would want to present, you know?" Might have like subconsciously started something.
Maybe. That's super
Uh,
plausible. I mean, like I know that a lot of media like really informs the way that we subconsciously make decisions
mhm.
and everything.
Yeah, it affects us in every which way.
Nice one.
Yes. Yeah. So I love that the title of the show is a pun, you know? Um,
Hilarious. I love a good pun.
yeah. And then the title of this podcast is a pun on top of that, a rewatch
I
way.
know. It took me like because I was only reading it at first and it like took me a couple of tries to like process the joke or like the reference. I was like, what on earth does this mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
It it
I
it
I
is
got
a bit
there.
weird for outsiders, yeah. Um, but yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll speed it up. We're almost done. Um, let's see. Uh, so but yeah, plenty of kids are into Philip's vibe, and like they like the look of Philip and like want to get near him. But then Andy's like, he said back off now, like, but then Jax teaches him the exploding fist bump,
You
and
know how, like in Twilight, the vampires are like attractive and like have the pretty
mhm,
skin and like all of it specifically to like lure in humans?
yeah,
It I know that like I'm just reading too much into it, but it the way that like so many people were like gravitating to Philip made me like subconsciously think that potentially it like a similar thing was happening. You know,
zombies
like
are attractive to them.
zombies are cool so that humans get close to them so then zombies don't have to work as hard to eat them.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Um, yeah, and interesting. I, I'll ask if I ever get to speak to any of the show's writers. I'll ask them about that too.
Oh,
Um,
please do.
yeah, and that and then Philip sniffs Emma's hair. That was weird. Um,
Weird.
but Andy explains as like, oh, you have delicious smelling shampoo. Oh, okay. Uh, um, but then Jax is like, you could just erase people's memories of Philip. No, we can't do that. But the point of having powers is to push boundaries. Then we could push them together. I don't know if I want to push boundaries. What do you just want to be some regular old witch? Is that what you think of me? So, uh, I was like, I know this is a bit ham-fisted of dialogue, but like, I'm glad at least Emma reached that conclusion. You know, like that, uh, Jax like inherently thinks lesser of her. You know, like,
Yeah, it gives me hope that they won't end up together forever.
yeah. Um, I don't know if I want to say what I know, like knowing how this show goes. I don't know if I want to like say anything, but
Tell me,
I got bad news for you on that front.
do they end up together forever?
Yeah,
No. Does he get better or does he stay bad?
It remains to be. I well, I just think I don't know how I would react to it now, but I distinctly remember being pretty upset with it. You know,
Oh, that's the worst news you could have given me.
I was like, man, this show. What? Why you gotta do this to me, show? Like I was invested in you, and then you end with that.
That's horrible. They don't
And,
deserve to be endgame.
and
Jax
you
doesn't
know what?
deserve that.
You know what makes it worse is the fact that they had the child audience vote on like who Emma ends up with, and
Did they
that
vote for Jax or did they just
they voted for Jax, and then they made the decision based on that. Isn't that screwed up?
am I delusional?
The just the kids back in the day were like, ooh, Jax, yeah, he's so intriguing, and like he's the real good, he's like he's the one that yeah.
That's something else.
But yeah, I know we only have a few minutes left, so let's keep
Okay, yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so then we get to Inspector Agamemnon is on the case because
Love that guy.
he's like, oh, listening in on Gigi, and he starts realizing what's going on because she's talking to Desdemona, and yeah, that then and then the scene where he follows her and like has to like hide behind things, that was another Looney Tunes moment. Um,
I feel like she was also being kind of Looney Tunes, like in her scenes as well, when she was like following them.
yeah, the the fact that he like just like he's a big guy, but he like hides behind a couple lockers, like we can clearly see him, but Gigi apparently doesn't. She's like, "Ah, I heard something, but now there's nothing there. What?
There's
That's
only some strange bulging stuff behind those lockers. No big deal.
yeah, it's definitely not a person's shirt, you know. Um,
Definitely not.
um, but yeah, he dramatically puts on his goggles, shunk, and then puts out the little magnifier, and then it's the spell-o-vision goggles, so we can see like, oh, she's under a spell. Uh, so then Philip and Andy start role playing like they're in the video game, like that, which is hilarious. And like oh, better grab your laser gun. Whoop, the coast is clear. Whoop, and then the Panthers come in and like, oh, you better melt that zombie's face. Oh wait, nope, it's actually her regular face. Ha ha.
Crazy bird.
Yes, I love Andy. Andy is the best character, honestly. Um, by the way, did you have a favorite character?
I feel like I did really like Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I think
He's
he
such a
was like so down to earth and just like kind and he just cared about them. I
yeah,
liked
yeah,
Daniel.
very cool. Yeah, yeah. Really have come to appreciate him definitely, and like see how much the show like just punches down at him. I mean, less so at this point.
Literally.
Yeah. Uh, I mean clearly the show's punching down at him worked, as I mentioned,
Almost.
because enough kids voted for Jax to be Endgame. I can't believe they did that at all. To be honest, like ooh, the kids vote on how the show ends and like who she ends up with. But I don't know. Let's just throw it to the kids to decide as some sort of marketing. You know, I hate that.
Because
Uh,
kids always make smart decisions about romantic relationships.
yeah, uh, I really yeah that I think that would send a bad message to them. Like ooh, what these kids say as as the right thing is the right thing. You know.
Actually.
Um. Yeah. So somehow I even like I missed this vote. I would have voted the other way. You know.
Maybe you would have been the tiebreaker.
Drat. um. So then but Katie actually knows about LARPing. We it was revealed in a season 1 episode that she knows what LARPing is and like has experience doing it. So she like
Oh,
gives a knowing look, like she doesn't laugh like Sophie and Maddie do. She's like, uh,
okay.
I noticed that. I know you wouldn't have, but
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I totally didn't.
But yeah. Um, but like Philip starts winding up, and he's like about to bite Maddie. But then Daniel's like, nope, nope, we're taking you away now. You're right. He is bonkers, says Maddie. And so then they take Philip to the janitor's closet where Gigi's filming a bit, and they're like, ooh, she's like, ooh, I don't, Gigi, can you just give us a minute? No, I just want to film an interview with Iridium High's new hot item, Philip and Andy. But then he's brought into the bright camera light, and we know what's gonna happen there. He reacts violently, and Gigi films this, and then Andy like steals Gigi's phone and runs off. Um, what do you think of her pun name Misinformation? Uh, did they mention that?
I don't,
Uh,
if they did, didn't notice it.
that's the name of her blog, Misinformation. Like,
Oh, that's so funny because, like, as a title, like, I miss space
yeah,
information, but then also,
yeah,
like, misinformation, I'm just telling lies or something.
yeah. I think that's brilliant, honestly.
It's
Um,
really clever.
yeah, and but the and and Jax gets some safety glasses that Emma's dad gave her, and she's like, these up my nerd cred, I mean, my own science goggles, and then he's like, put them on too. Jax, did you do our lab work? Oh, you look really pretty, don't you? Don't you think? Jax, come on, you didn't do it, and he literally. I couldn't make this up if I tried. He was like, if only there was some way to finish the homework. Hmm.
Maybe doing the homework.
It, and then she's like, fine, and then casts a spell to do it. He, she, like, she's the proverbial mom of a screaming toddler in a store, and she just gave him the candy, you know?
She really did. And, like, this is just how he's gonna weasel into her brain and then try and convince her to come to the dark side.
Yeah. Uh, the fact that 2 seasons from now he becomes Endgame is really bothers me.
That's
Like,
so upsetting.
I think this is the first time I've actually like mentioned that in any of the podcasts. Maybe I'll cut out all mentions of this when I edit it because
Maybe.
but yeah, um, but she's like, oh no, I just cheated, but like after he's like, we got it done, haha, yeah, high five. But after she realized she cheated, she's like, I take my high five back, which was kind of funny. Um, uh, and then after the two close calls, with Gigi and with Maddie, he's like, we should really get Philip sent back into the game where he belongs. And that and then Maddie comes in and ridicules him, and then Philip legit says he wants to eat her brains.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I noticed that. And I was like, he wants to eat your friend's brain.
yeah. Uh, like I think that's the point where you're like, yeah, 100% go back now.
Take it
Um,
back. Take it out. Go
and I
away.
and then I noted down, well, if he wants to eat brains, then Sophie's safe. But
Nice one.
that's something that my friends in middle school used to say. Like, oh, if that guy during the zombie apocalypse where they want to eat brains, then you're safe. Haha. Like,
Or like when I was in middle school, there was this like joke where you would like grab someone's head and like kind of like squeeze, and you'd be like, "Oh, do you know what this is?" And the person would be like, "No, what is it?" And then you're like, "It's a brain sucker. Do you know what it's doing?" No, starving.
ah, yeah, and, but yeah, just, as just bringing in the juvenile humor. Haha.
Gotta
The-
make it happen.
yes, and 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 Daniel's like, we can't let him, eat her brains. And then Andy says, well, zombie Maddie would be much cooler than regular Maddie. And I'm like, facts. that uh that would be cool, but like also bad.
Yeah, life might be a little
But
bit easier.
yeah. Um but then Philip wanders away. Oh no. Uh,
But they
and
gotta pay attention to him more. He just keeps leaving.
yeah, like he left. He's I think wandered away from them like three different times. Uh,
You
you
guys
know,
are not good zombie keepers.
yeah. You gotta keep an eye on your zombie boyfriend. Where, I mean, do you think that maybe um Andy's like kept him a secret, like having him sleep in her room, like under the radar? Uh,
Like maybe, but I don't know how. Because he's not, I don't think he's coordinated enough to sneak into a house unnoticed.
right. Or to like sleep without making a bunch of like growling noises.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so so then Ursula will get video chats with Maddie at school and is suspicious that Diego is with her. Like like Maddie, who is that next to you? It's Katie. Turns the phone. Uh, please hold. And presses mute and says, Maddie, what should I tell her? Should I? She's suspicious that you're with Diego. What should I tell her? Tell her no, obviously. But then she's like, she uses this opportunity to blackmail Maddie. She's like, well, I'll tell her no as long as you make me a boyfriend. Is it? So this isn't inspired by the Andy getting a boyfriend made for her. I think this is just apropos of nothing really. Um, or or Katie's like, yeah, I want a boyfriend. You would think that it would be like, well, Andy, like Emma made a boyfriend for Andy, so why don't you make one for me? It's not. It's like has nothing to do with that idea. It's like, oh yeah, I want one. And he's like, fine. And then Katie's like, oh yeah, there's no one here. Gotta go. Bye. Beep. I'm, I'm gonna get a boyfriend now. Woohoo.
Once again, with these super believable lies. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Diego's not here. Totally, no, no Diego.
Bye. Beep.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah. But I wonder how Katie thought this was gonna happen. Like making a boy, like generating a person from nothing. Did she think that? But then she. Sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, like, no matter what she had in mind about how it was gonna go down, there's no way that it was gonna go well.
Yeah. And like Matt, and also Maddie's the vindictive type. Blackmailing her is not gonna go over well. Um. I think you probably even would pick up on that. Like she wouldn't take too kindly to this. Um.
Apple tree.
Yep. Yep.
That's all I'll
Exactly.
say about that.
Apple meet. No, wait. Tree meet apple. Yeah.
Yep.
Or wait. Who is Katie in this situation? She's just Katie. Katie meet the apple
Yeah,
from the
Katie
tree.
meet apple. Katie meet tree.
Yeah. The apple from the evil tree. Yeah. Um. And so then Gigi brings Principal Alonso and his dad to she says arrest them. I want to press charges for them stealing my phone. And then the light comes on again. Oh, I love how Andy like throws the phone back. Like,
Yeah, you couldn't have handed it to her. She's like 2 feet away from you.
yeah, but I don't know. I might have done that just like here, catch. Eh, it is kind of fun. But the light comes back on, and Philip reacts by lunging at Francisco. Eat brains. And um, you're suspended, young man. But it's a Romanian custom. What he just did. I don't care if it's a custom. So wait, they told Emma's dad that he's Romanian. I guess. Did
I
they mention that earlier?
guess. I don't remember it being mentioned, but I mean, like, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense that they'd say like, oh, he just doesn't speak much English, you know. That
That is
that
actually a good point. I didn't think
yeah.
about that.
Then what I hate what he says to Daniel so much. He said like, and you better take this new friend of yours away. Why me? Because I saw you egging him on, and I know for a fact that you have the last period free. Slacker. What what does that even mean? Like,
Also, like, in what world does another student take a suspended student home? You don't just call their parent or whoever they're
yeah.
like, whatever, being like, come pick up your child.
I mean, I know that this is because he's taking his out on Daniel because he hates Daniel. This is a whole thing. Like
Oh,
one of the
oh, he does.
yeah, like um yeah, Emma's dad has a hatred for Daniel that runs deep, uh,
Okay, did not know that.
which Daniel doesn't deserve in the slightest because as we know, he's the nicest person, you know. Um, but yeah, then Agamemnon returns to Lily's office and he's like, "Oh, I cast a spell on the shoe to show me what happened. Oh, this is what happened with Desdemona and Ramona. She's actually evil. Desdemona is. Whoa." He says, "It can't be." Oh, I love how he speaks all theatrically. I have to stop her. But and Daniel plays video games with Philip to calm him down, and then and Jax uh gloats when Daniel goes over to Emma's house. He's like, "Oh, don't mind me. I'm just cuddling with Emma. Unlike you, heh." Another instance of that. And then they're like, "We should go off to the Seven to keep an eye on Andy." And Daniel and Emma leave, and Jax says out loud, "I regret how I handled that. That didn't go the way I wanted." He, he he's like we mentioned, he's always like, that didn't go as planned.
Yeah,
That
he's
I
just such a downer all the time.
and he's like so conniving and like plotting. He doesn't like it's not about like liking her as a person. He's just like, I have to control the situation, you know.
Yeah.
And then so Maddie transforms a dog into Katie's boyfriend that just has the brain of a dog and just like sticks his tongue out and goes like which is very weird.
Does he ever get turned back into a dog? Do we ever get closure on that?
I'm almost certain that they do do that. Like,
Because I know that they say that she needs to turn him back, but then I don't remember seeing him actually get turned back into a dog.
I think that's after the events of this episode that you know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Maddie's like, because of you blackmailing me, you're gonna keep it like this for the rest of the day. And and then there's a commotion with Andy being warned what's gonna happen with Philip, that he needs to go back, and she's like, no. And then he goes to attack Gigi. Ah! And then there's a commotion with Howard. That's what they named the dog boyfriend. And
That's such a weird name for a dog and a boyfriend.
yes, and then there's the whole thing with Jax being like upset that Daniel defends Emma. He's like, "That's my thing." We mentioned that, and then Howard, the dog boyfriend, this was so awkwardly choreographed. He like nudges Sophie, and then she like gets lunges into Philip, and then Philip lunges at Sophie and tries to bite her. At which point Emma's like, "Nah," and like sends him back into the game finally. And that, what were you confused in all this? Like how that happened? Like what that even meant? Like her motion across, like being nudged and.
Like, not really. So I was really locked in on this scene. So
Mhm.
I was like super focused on it. And so
Like
like
I had to rewind. Like wait, why did Sophie like move over to Philip like that? So I was like, oh, he was like that dog guy nudged like hit her and like sent her like supposedly like flying into him. It's like, but it was so slow.
it was so slow. And so like I knew what they were trying to do. It just like
Mm-hmm.
wasn't actually happening the way that they were trying to make it seem. But I just thought it was so the drama. The drama.
Yep. 100%. But then Emma sends Philip back into the game, and Andy's like, "How could you? He was my love," and she's upset and
Like, girl,
leaves.
have you not seen what's been happening all around you?
I mean, yeah, but well, I mean, I think she will like come to realize that, but this is like I don't know she just needs a minute to
Yeah.
process. Yeah, and then Daniel accompanies Emma when she's outside, and they're like, "Oh, we both came out here independently to decompress. It's our spot. Aw,
You
isn't
can't
that cute?"
convince me that Daniel and Emma are in Endgame. I know that you said that that's not canon, but you can't convince me otherwise.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That was just
And
such a
then
cute scene. It was just so, I love it.
100%. And then we get the last scene where Agamemnon, he's like, "I gotta get Lily back. Send her back from limbo." Oh, it didn't work. And then Desdemona's like, "Ha ha ha. I'm evil actually, and everything's going according to plan. Ha ha ha. Oh no you don't." And then they get into a magic fight, and where he just like singes some of her hair. Like, "Oh dear, my hair." And then the episode just ends.
Like, it was like middle of a scene, complete ending. I wasn't expecting it to end there, and I was very disappointed that I don't get to
Yeah,
see where he went.
I mean that's not a cliffhanger. Like that that like there it was like mid action scene. She's just like, "Oh, singe my hair. Oh, the episode's over now. Bye."
Literally.
That's yeah, that's where we end off with these two episodes anticlimactically. Or I mean, I know it has a cliffhanger technically, but yeah. So, any other final thoughts you have on what we watched today, Victoria?
No, I think we covered everything.
Fantastic. It was great to have you on. It was a real blast.
It was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anything you want to share, like promote, or make sure people know about, or anything? It's your opportunity. Plug something away. Yeah.
I feel like I need to plug something, but I'm like, I don't do anything that gets plugged. I'm like, call your representatives.
Yeah. Call your representatives.
Call your representatives. People are people who deserve to be treated fairly.
Yeah, and stop disappearing people to different countries.
Stop disappearing people. Stop treating people like they don't belong. Stop beating up people who are just trying to use the bathroom.
And maybe don't give tax breaks to the billionaires. You know,
Also, that.
we're just getting on our soapboxes now on this
Yeah, no.
on this podcast about a decade old Nickelodeon show. But yeah, seriously, call your representatives. Um, and yeah, thanks so much, Victoria. It was great to be with you.
Yeah,
And
thank you so much for having me.
everyone listening, stay safe, have an excellent week, and finally,
Best
best
match for
match for
this.
this.